Good morning, class 10. Welcome all of you in this mathematics period. Now revision is going on. So today we will see chapter 2, Polynomials. I have already given the introduction about the polynomials. Today I will explain some important formulas and memorable points. Poly means many. This is a prefix. So algebraic expression which have many terms, they are called polynomials. Now you see standard form of linear polynomial according to degree, according to power of the variable. There are many kinds of polynomials. Linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial, bioquadratic polynomial, like that. So if the power of the variable, is maximum 1, that is called linear polynomial. You see, this is ax plus b. Ax plus b is a polynomial where a and b are real numbers and x is variable. This is linear polynomial because here the degree of the variable x is 1. So this is a standard form of linear polynomial. Quadratic polynomial, standard form ax squared plus bx plus c. Here a, b and c are real numbers and x is the coefficient of variable. Here, x is the variable. Here you see the power of the variable in first term is 2, power of the variable x in second term is 1, and there is no x in the last term, third term. So if no variable, the power is understood 0, because if the power of the any variable is 0, that is value is 1. So power is 2, 1 and 0. So maximum power is 2 of the variable, and therefore it is quadratic polynomial. So quadratic polynomial, standard form ax square plus bx plus c. Many examples you can see. Suppose x square minus 7x plus 10, suppose. If you compare with this standard form, so it can be called quadratic polynomial because power of the variable is maximum 2. And what is the value of a? A is 1. Here a, no coefficient, means understood 1. B is equal to minus c. C is equal to 0. And one condition is also 1 should not be equal to 0. If you see here, if a is equal to 0, so this term will be 0. And therefore this cannot be called quadratic polynomial. Two conditions. A should not be equal to 0 and a, b and c are real numbers. Real numbers, you know, rational and irrational. In common we say they are real numbers. So we will concentrate on quadratic polynomial in this chapter. So first you see what are the zeros of the polynomial. Zeros किसी quadratic polynomial का क्या? What is the meaning of zeros? The value of the variable the value of the variable of the given polynomial, if its value is put any value, and after simplification, if we get 0, the value of that variable is called zeros of the polynomial. So zeros का मतलब समझ गए. Here यहाँ ये zero निकालें. What is the value of x? X is equal to minus b by a, linear polynomial. This is called zeros. Zeros means the value of x. If you put that value or those values, so on simplification, you will get 0. So zeros are the value of the variable. On putting it in the polynomial, the total value of the quadratic polynomial becomes 0. That value is called zeros of the polynomial. So, suppose if you have to find the zeros of this polynomial, so how will you find the zeros? How will you find the values? In linear polynomial, the value of variable should be 1. In quadratic polynomial, the value of variable will be 2. In cubic polynomial, the value of variable will be 3. So you can understand the number of power is equal to number of zeros. Linear polynomial, power is 1, 0 is 1. In quadratic polynomial, power is 2, the value of x will be 2 values. In cubic polynomial, the value of variable will be 3, like that. So you can understand number of zeros will be equal to the number of power of the variable of the polynomial. Now you have to find, there are variety of questions. Suppose this is a polynomial, you have to find the zeros. In other words, you can say, what are the values of x, so that on putting them, the total value of this polynomial will be 0. So now you go into class 9, you factorize. By splitting the middle term, you will factorize. So 10 will be here written like that, minus 2 minus 2x. And this will be plus 10. X common, x minus 5, minus 2 common, x minus 5. So these are the factorization of given polynomial. And the value should be 0. So this should be 0. This means x should be how much? 5 or 2. So these are the values of x, and these values are called zeros. So what are the values of zeros? Oh, what are the zeros of this given polynomial? 5 and 2. In other words, if you put these values one by one in this given polynomial, you will get 0. Now you can check. You put the value of 5. 5 square, 25, minus 7 into 5, plus 10. This will be 35, minus 10 plus 10 equal to 0. 35, right? So now you put the value of 2. 2 square, this will be 4, minus 7 into 2, 14, plus 10, minus 10 plus 10, 0. Right? So we are observing that on putting these two values, 5 and 2, we are getting zeros. This means these values are zeros of this polynomial. Now if you find the sum of the zeros, you will get 5 plus 2, 7. And you find the product of zeros, 5 into 2, 10. But if you have the quadratic polynomial given, and without finding the zeros, how will you find? These are the formula. The sum of the zeros is minus b by a. So इसमें यदि without finding the zero, how can you find the sum of the zeros? This formula has been asked. Now you see how will you find. So minus b is minus 7 upon a. A means 1. This will be set. Just you have seen 5 plus 2 equal to 7 by finding the zeros. So big rank minus b by a, that is called sum of the zeros. Product of the zeros, in the previous attempt we have got 10. Now you see whether you get 10 by this formula. C is equal to 10, A is equal to 1, 10 by 1, 10. So big rank by simply observing the quadratic polynomial, given quadratic polynomial, we can find the sum of the zeros and product of zeros by these two formulas. And if you have to find the zeros, this means you have to factorize and then you have to find the values. So these are the sum of the zeros formula, you will remember, and this is product of zeros. Fourth question, suppose 4x squared minus 25. This is quadratic polynomial, yes. If you compare with this, so a is equal to here 4, and the middle term is not here. So b is equal to, you can understand 0, 0x. So that can be written like this: 4x squared plus 0x minus 25. So b is equal to here 0 and c is equal to minus 25. And you have to find the zeros of this given quadratic polynomial. So now you see, if you observe the given polynomial, you factorize, so this will be factorization 2x whole square, this will be whole square, a square minus b square, a plus b, and this will be a minus b. So x is equal to minus, transferring the minus over minus 5 by 2, and this will be 5 by 2. These are the zeros of this polynomial. So a standard polynomial, standard form of linear polynomial, ax plus b, a and b are real numbers, x is a variable, and a should not be equal to 0. And so the 0 in this form, 0 will be minus b by a. You can understand the example. A standard form of quadratic polynomial, this is the standard form. A coefficient of x squared, b coefficient of x, c is constant term. And the sum of the zeros, how many zeros? I have already explained. Number of zeros will be equal to the number of power of the variable. So these are the important points, and then you can solve the question. So that's all for today, and we will try to revise. We will try to remember the formula. That's all. Have a nice day.